Last time on Flipside.
That's what Marco needs right now.
I think they need to scrape their windows.
I'm stoked. The crew again.
Just gonna do the most difficult trick that I imagine right there.
This is Flipside, the show that takes you behind the scenes with the Absinthe-Films crew to see what it took to make the snowboard film more.
We're in Beijing. Our flight to San Francisco got cancelled.
I think they need to scrape their windows.
So they rerouted us from Beijing all the way to Chicago, which is probably one of the longest flights you can take.
Chicago? We get into Denver about an hour after our flight was supposed to leave, but there might be a later flight. Maybe. Actually, maybe not.
Okay, second try. See, I told them to scrape the windows. That's why we're not ready.
Arrived here from my transatlantic flight from Zurich to Salt Lake City. Now a week later, we're sitting in another storm and hopefully get reset on all the goodies we found last week. Mikey, should we do those two double lines together?
Yeah, sure.
And then try to hit that. I mean, at least the second track's gonna get there.
That's the cool thing about the crew is everyone's stoked to get their shot, but also see that other guy get their shot, because it's like they feed off each other, and it's just so rad to see that stoked to see the other guy get it too.
Ever since Gigi's arrival, the group morale had changed, and everyone was getting shots.
I like to bounce around.
With the bad days come the good ones. It was only a matter of time.
I love Jackson. Big mountains and nature. It's like a wild, wild west.
You got the steez!
Pretty epic being able to have Nico come stay at my place and just go shred for 2 weeks straight.
That he did it.
Here goes the big one. And it was definitely a pleasant sigh of relief to be home in Jackson Hole. It snowed a bunch, and so we pretty much just shredded POW for the next 2 weeks. We spent a couple days just shredding in my backyard. Actually got shots for the movie, shredding in my backyard.
I got a little piece of land out in the sticks, and it's quiet, humble, and I'm just totally content with it. This here's my caboose. Got a fire in it, so BC Rail was about to melt it. I paid scrap metal value, $3,500 Canadian, and essentially got a recycled house. Took me a few months trying to figure out how to move this baby out here. It weighs about 65,000 pounds. So that was an ordeal in itself. Got a generator under here and my truck both run off diesel, so try and fill my tank with biodiesel, and then I can run my generator off it. It's all plumbed into this tank. And then when I need to, I got this little hose, don't tell anybody, and I fill my truck up off of that too. You're standing in the bathroom. Things are a little tight in here. I'm trying to build it sort of like a ship, I guess. You know, you gotta make 2 or 3 uses for all your space. If it needs a good pat down or a little mini wedge, I'm good for it. But I'd much rather spend my day riding the terrain than building the terrain. Drain the void.
When you see Jonathan ride, you would never think he's one of the most mild-mannered, low-key people out there. He's in tune with his surroundings, and I think it definitely reflects in his riding.
Somebody call, somebody rang. You built the wall and done it again.
Everything was going really good in Utah, and then Gigi had a super sketchy moment. This rock ride had a little bit of snow on it, but not nearly enough. Dropped into this rock face and immediately caught his board on the rocks under the snow and just went tumbling down this cliff, basically, and got super lucky. All that ended up was he bruised his pretty bad. So I was on the phone to Cassie. Gigi really needs your help. And so she came out. Cassie does what's called biosync. It's a type of body work that helps the healing process, and we have her come on trips when people get hurt or even when people aren't hurt, if they have old injuries.
Take one layer down at a time of old trauma and memory and get him closer to the original person that he is without injury.
They worked together a bit, and then got a phone call from Travis and Nicolas. They found this sick zone.
There's this place that's called The Place.
And Gigi was still super bruised up. We figured we might as well give it a shot and go up there.
Okay, and you're just gonna come together with Gigi, right? Gigi's like, just hurt himself, and he's just gonna hang out. He's just stoked to get out of Salt Lake too, and hangs out, and maybe does something. Gigi will always find something around there too.
Travis was always talking about this pillow zone, like he always wanted to hit and film.
Pillows.
Perfect setup.
This one down to there?
No, that one to cross.
Oh,
So we'll have the sideways moving shot.
Okay.
Gigi, who was initially not gonna ride the pillow line since he was hurt, he just tagged along for the adventure. But then once he saw the pillow line, he decided, well, I might be able to ride him too.
Are you gonna hog a tree here pretty soon too?
Hopefully not.
While Justin prepared for his special angle, Gigi, Travis, and Nicolas warmed up on the pillows right next to it.
Oh yeah, absinthe, taking it to the next level.
You're watching Flipside, the making of the snowboard film More. Okay, hold it.
Oh, no way. This is gonna be cool.
So we got everything prepped. Spent the entire day just shredding the best pillow lines that I've ever ridden.
So we have to make sure that the pillows are stable first. All right, it's a stable pillow, it's good to go.
Justin's new inventive angle was working out remarkably well. And I think that's the closest you can get in the moving angle department.
Gigi was still super bruised up. I was gonna squeeze this trip in and see what would happen, and it worked out. Got a bunch of shots on that trip.
I was just having so much fun. It's my favorite thing, just to ollie around.
For me, that's my favorite part of the film this year.
All right, the pillow lines worked. I've been thinking about these pillow lines way too long.
Kurt was out for over a month, but he was really serious about his rehab. He was working on it every day, and so he came back middle or end of February.
You know, you go in there and they tell you, oh, this is the high gauge MCL sprain and it's gonna be like 6 to 8 weeks. And you're just like, nah, it's not gonna take that long.
I'm like so stoked to do something. But I think we need to explore out of this area.
Yeah, we've never gone that way.
Conditions? Kurt, Chris, and JP rolled up on a jump that we had hit earlier and was perfectly set up, ready to go.
What luck, dude. Just show up, spot, and just jump, ready to go. Stop it! You can get it!
Yeah, Coulter.
The follow cam sesh was turning out well. Everybody was getting shots.
Drop in!
JP dislocated his shoulder again after having surgery from the previous 8 times he dislocated it last year.
It's a familiar feeling.
Oh, nice.
This year's been unreal, huh?
It's over. You got some shots, though.
Once we got done with those pillow lines, we headed back to Jackson and had a couple days left before we would head over to Europe.
You rode your pillows down in...
Yeah, it's
A couple really successful days there in the end. We had a hip going, Travis's favorite hip.
Light was leading and I landed one and I just was shuttling Travis and he got one too, so it all paid off, group effort.
Perfect ending day for our Jackson trip. We got sick killer shots.
Should be 5. Better late than never, I guess.
That was sick, man.
Do we hit it today or do we save it?
Finish in half an hour. Perfect. It's like one's best live on. Hit it.
Cassie helped Gigi come back 100% in a short amount of time. He was back up to his old tricks of finding unique natural features and pushing the envelope, busting out sick tricks in tight situations.
He's done it! Yay! Woo! All long, see? Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah.
And we pretty much checked Jackson off the list and on to our next spot. Dude, I'm just a tourist, man. I'm just a redneck from Wyoming. Come see some real Europe with Scots to get going. Howdy ho! And landed smack dab in Zurich International Airport, home of the one, the only, Patrick Armbruster and Nicolas Müller. You got this, dude. 2 people hopping in front. Okay. Put this on the left. Okay.
I'm forward. Yeah. Okay, start driving.
What? I gotta open the window so my head fits.
We drove over to the Austrian border into Innsbruck, where there's like a little ancient castle, and somebody built like a little quarter pipe onto the one wall.
Nico was supposed to come up and meet up with me. Another cat was supposed to come along too, and both those guys ended up bailing. But we had a generator and everyone was down, and so... Castle Grayskull. Pretty sick little setup. Kind of just fell into our hands. I'd like to tell you that we spent 4 days up here working on it, but I'd be lying.
Really unfortunate when we got the 16 footage back. The high sensitive rolls I used to film that night session I had along with me on my entire trip around the world, and apparently they got affected by the X-ray. So there was like flickering throughout that entire 3 rolls we shot that night. Not too technical shots, but pretty unique looking with like, you know, the castle wall, the lighting, Travis doing like nose picks, little alley-oops, whatever. Destroyed footage is always the worst that can happen to us filmers.
I don't know, I see a lot of guys who are like, they want to be rock stars. You know what? I don't want to be anyone's hero.
This is the mysterious traveler.
No hometown training here before we go to Alaska. I'm gonna drive to Alaska. I like to drive. Kind of gives me some headspace. I get about 3 days to prepare myself mentally for the epic. Alaska's pretty heavy, so I like having the time just to chill before I get there.
Oh, it's deep.
Started filming with him pretty late in the season. Sent Eric Brandt and Jason Leroy up to Whistler to get some double angle stuff on some pillows that he was really psyched to get.
Ollie kinda from the pillow, like through the stick in the tree.
That's a good stack.
There's like a crust underneath, good pal on top, and I almost hooked my toes in the crust, like basically above the death cliff, but held it together. And then, yeah, the lower part happened pretty quick, but it was fun.
What do you know? We got an early start and left at 11:30 tonight. 11:30 tonight. We got a 3-hour drive and it is snowing so hard.
It's a snowstorm, dude. We can do it Chinese style, through the night in the blizzard.
You're watching Flipside, the making of the snowboard film More.
Finally made it to Silvretta, a new resort we happened to discover earlier this year, which is located between Austria and Switzerland, close to the border.
I'd had a couple good sessions over in Europe as far as, you know, actually riding big mountain stuff over there and having good snow. But this was the first time we actually had like a good film trip over to Europe in pursuit of the backcountry pow.
Morning.
Good morning.
What are you gonna please us with today?
No digicam this morning, Bruce. Give it a rest.
You're always on the freaking video.
Do you really think you're gonna have enough speed to clear?
Yeah, I think we'll have enough speed.
Okay.
Because me and Nico both got speed suits.
Silvretta Nova. It was incredible. Like, I'd like to go back there next year for sure. So many features, the snow was good, and big mountains with terrain where you just can get creative.
Conditions are great in Austria right now, so we're gonna stay an extra 2 days.
Tomorrow we're gonna do some good stuff. Travis promised to do a new maneuver.
Well, I had a pretty rough situations I got myself in that threw me off the board, I guess.
He flung himself kind of crooked and went directly at this tree. And luckily, he bounced before he hit the tree, but he bounced right into the branch, kind of goalposted between a tripod that Scott had set up for photos and the tree, but somehow didn't get hurt. Got lucky on that one.
Learned that I have to be careful when there's forest I run into, because there could be maybe some trees in that forest.
Have tea, have tea, have tea. Have some tea. Oh, that'd be nice. I got tea.
A couple days later, this hip jump that we'd hit earlier, he was feeling it, so he went up and hit it a few times. Kind of got flung wrong off the takeoff and bounced right into this tree. He hit it and it just toppled.
I encountered the very depths of pain that trees can cause once they break on your hip.
Changed my ticket to Europe. 2 more days for that jump.
Next time on Flipside.
See you in AK in about 10 days. Nico, you know where you're going?